Well, the Eric Paredes Save a Life Foundation does its best to promote the importance of youth heart screenings. And here to talk about the foundation and upcoming events is Rhina Paredes Greeson. Rhina, it's always good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So there's been an overwhelming amount of people coming to the heart screening events that you have. Talk a little bit about what the parents and some of the children are saying to you as they are coming to these heart screenings and learning about the importance of why they should get them done at such a young age.
Great. So first of all, let me just tell you a little bit about Eric.
Absolutely.
Eric was 15 years old. He was healthy, joyful. He was a two-sport athlete. He played football and he wrestled. And one day, as we were packing to go on a trip, I stepped out to go to a doctor's appointment, and Eric's dad came home 20 minutes later and found that Eric had collapsed and died in our kitchen floor. I was the last one with Eric, and Eric didn't have any signs and symptoms that I could have recognized him as being life-threatening.
Well, we always appreciate you sharing Eric's story on KUSI, and we're always so sorry for your loss, but now you are really trying to keep his memory alive and educate families that this could really happen to anyone.
Yes, absolutely. After Eric passed away, and we learned that Eric had passed away because he had a fatal arrhythmia. He died from sudden cardiac arrest. Eric's dad and I did a lot of research about sudden cardiac arrest, and we learned that about 23,000 kids die every year in the United States from sudden cardiac arrest. So this is why we started this foundation a year after Eric passed away, because we learned that many times this is preventable. So we couldn't sit back and let this happen to other kids in our community. We really did not want other parents to go through this journey that we are right now and that we will never be over. So we started this foundation where kids come and get heart screened. We do a cardiac risk assessment, and then we do an EKG. And if either of those are abnormal, then the child goes and has an echocardiogram done right on the spot. They also have the opportunity to see a cardiologist to read the EKG and to see about the echocardiogram. So it's a really well comprehensive event. Parents need to know that this is free for them. It's something that is not going to hurt the child. It's fast, and it's so beneficial.
What do you say to the people who are hesitant to learn that something may be wrong with themselves?
There's a big misconception that sudden cardiac arrest is not going to happen to your child. And all they have to do is just look at me and thousands of other parents who had healthy kids, and one day they collapse and they die. And at the screenings, we find cardiac abnormalities in kids. Probably about 1 in 300 youth are at risk for sudden cardiac arrest. So that is a big number. We have screened about 40,000 kids in the span of 12 years, and we have found about 600 kids who have cardiac abnormalities, and 300 of them cardiac abnormalities that puts them at risk for sudden cardiac arrest. So I would say it's a high number if your child is the one that is affected. I would say it's 100%. To me, my son was a statistic, but to me, it's 100%. So I tell parents that just because your child looks healthy from the outside, you don't know if your child is heart healthy. So why not do an early detection through a heart screening and find out if your child has a cardiac arrhythmia?
Yeah, and it's free too, and I know you have a bunch of upcoming events. Besides the heart screening itself, what do you think that the biggest takeaway is from these events while students are there and they're learning how to work an EKG and everything that you have?
Right. So like I said, early detection through a heart screening is extremely important. That's really what we do. Something else that we do at our heart screenings is we teach an overview of CPR to the kids and families that come through the screening. Is extremely important. We need to make sure that everyone is prepared to respond to a cardiac emergency. Not only professionals need to know CPR, we all need to know CPR because you and I are at the mercy of a bystander. I want to make sure that if I have a sudden cardiac arrest event at any point in my life, anybody on the street can help me out.
Yeah.
So we teach the call, push shock, which is if you see somebody that's collapsed and it's unresponsive, you call 911 first, and then you come and you do chest compressions, fast and hard in the center of the chest, about 100 to 120 compressions a minute, and then you look for the nearest AED, which is going to shock the heart and return the person to life, hopefully.
Yeah.
People need to know that automated external defibrillators, or AED, is the only tool that will restart a heart. CPR is a bridge to life, but the AED will restart a heart.
Well, it's really important for everyone to learn how to save a life, and it makes me think of athletes in schools and high schools that don't always have the medical staff on standby. Sometimes they have one of the sports trainers there, but they're not always there because there's so many sports happening at once. So if every person at that school can learn how to save a life, I think it would benefit a lot of people. You have some events coming up. How can people get involved?
All they have to do is go to epsavealife.org, and they can sign for a time and the date. Our August 20th screening is almost at capacity, as you can imagine, with the news of Mr. James having sudden cardiac arrest. But we have other screenings that people are more than welcome to come. We have one in October 8th at Miramar College, and another one on December 9th at Cathedral High School. Please sign up to any of those events, and we would love to have you. And it's a life-saving event. We're going to find kids at risk. At all the screenings that we do, we always find kids at risk. And wouldn't you want to know if your child is at risk?
Absolutely. Well, epsavealife.org is where you can sign up. So, Rhina, thank you so much for coming in. Always very important messages you have to share with us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely.